This right here is the late payment that's plummeting your credit. And after watching this video, I'm gonna show you how you can delete that late payment off of your credit report just by some of the practical information that you're about to get in this video. Check this out. If there was ever a video that you really wanted to find out more information about, or that you're lucky that you clicked on, yes, I'm gonna say it, it would be this video right here, because I would say 99.9% of the times whenever someone asks me about removing something from their credit score, either in the comments or in an email or in their credit report, it's either a late payment, it's a collection, it's a bankruptcy, right? So this video right here is going to be focused solely on removing those late payments, something that you can take action on as soon as you finish watching this video. But before I give you that method, a few different strategies that you can use right now to remove those late payments, I first want to give you a little bit of backdrop behind why this is so important and why this is something that you need to take action on. Let's be honest here, late payments are absolutely detrimental when it comes to a credit report or a credit profile rather. That's gonna make sense here in just a second why I'm saying credit profile and not a credit score. But since we're on the subject of a credit score, let's say that you have a credit of about 720, 730, pretty much anything over a 700, just one late payment. I'm talking about just one. Let's say you just forgot about it, or let's say that, you know, life happens, right? You were running around and you just forgot to put your account on auto draft, and bam, you get hit with a late payment that following month. Well, guess what ends up happening? Your credit, your FICO score can literally drop 100 points if you have any score over 700. If you're right around that 620 to 650 range, you can see right around a 70 to an 80 point drop just off of one late payment. God forbid you have 2 or 3 that hit your account at the same time. But lucky for you that you are watching this video, because again, we are going to be tackling that issue here in just a second. Now, when it comes to fixing and rebuilding your credit, whether you're hiring a professional or you're doing it yourself, and by the way, if you're doing it yourself, you can find the letters to clean up your own credit in my website. You guys can find the link to that in the description. But when it comes to cleaning up your credit, let's say we have person A and we have person B. This is the difference between a credit profile and a credit score before I give you the methods that you're about to use to get these late payments off of your credit report. Let's say person A has a credit score of 650 and person B has a credit score of, let's say, 700. Naturally, if I were to ask you, you can pause the video right here or just kind of naturally think to yourself, who has the better, what we can say, credit, or who's going to be seen as a more reliable or trustworthy person that you can loan or lend money to? Naturally, we're just going to go ahead and say the person with the 700 credit score, but that would actually be incorrect because we don't actually have the full credit profile. You see, with the full credit profile, let's say that person A has a credit card, actually has 2 credit cards, let's say, under their name. Both of them are $10,000 right here. And then they want to go out and they want to get a car because they already have experience, or they've already had, let's say, a car issued to their name, a vehicle. So they already have 2 credit cards, $10,000 worth of lines, and then they already have an auto loan that's already been given to them in the past. Now, this person right here with the 700, let's say they have one, let's say, store credit card, and they have 1 late payment on their file. Even though, and let's say it's an old late payment, right? Because to be in the 700s, that must have already come off, or at least be pretty old. But let's say that if you are in the 700s and you only have, let's say, 1 credit card to your name, let's say it's a $1,000 Chase or a $1,000 secured line, you don't have any homes under your name, you don't have any auto loans, what ends up happening with the credit profile is the lender, or let's say if you're going to buy a house, or if you are going to, let's say, shop for a car, they are going to look at your, not just your credit score, but the credit profile and say, this person has a better mixture of credit, and this person has had different types of loans and different types of lines hit their account, even though it's only a 650, but they've been making their payments on time, their credit is pretty clean, and in addition to that, they again have they have the experience or the trustworthiness that they've been able to pay some of these more long-term installments back to the bank. Now, the reason why I bring up the credit profile is because if you've ever been in a situation where you have a pretty decent credit score, but you either keep getting denied for the loans that you're looking to get, or the credit cards that you're looking to open, or even for the interest rate that you thought you would be locked in for, 9 times out of 10, or more often than not, it's because there's something reflecting on the back end that's turning off the lender. And in this case, it's going to be those late payments. Keep in mind, late payments stay on your credit report for 7 years unless you're able to knock them off. But the good news is that the older that late payment is, the easier it becomes to knock that late payment off. Now, there's really 2 ways that you can go about removing those late payments off of your credit report. First way is by sending letters over to the 3 bureaus. This is going to be Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. You can either dispute it because it's been on your credit report for over or longer than 7 years. This is why I mentioned that the longer that's been on your credit, one, the less weight it actually carries when they go to pull it on your report, and secondly, it's easier to remove because of that. It's been on that report for close to or over 7 years. Now, on top of that, you can also include in that letter, if let's say the date is wrong, let's say that you actually ended up paying that specific credit card and the date, let's say, was set for March 30th, but they ended up reporting it March 24th, and the dates are just off. That's something that once you pull your credit report, you can go ahead and file that dispute as well. And that's another way for that to come off, either off of your TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian. Or if, let's say, the amount that you paid is off, or if you know that your credit card was paid off and that you had the receipts on the back end saying, hey, look, this is the day that my debit card, my checking card was drafted, the funds came out, this was indeed paid, you can go ahead and send that dispute letter over to the credit bureaus. One little tip here, don't let these credit bureaus or these creditors run games around you saying that, no, we don't have access to that information, or I'm sorry, we can't actually get that off. Yes, they can. The reason for that is because you're protected by the FCRA, which is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, that protects you as the consumer, letting them know that, look, these creditors and these credit card companies' creditors, we're using that interchangeably, and these credit bureaus, they actually communicate. And so while that's going through an investigation in those 30 days, they're communicating over with the creditor saying, hey, do you have this documentation? Or, hey, no, we don't. Okay, technically now it has to come off. So, sometimes they like to play hardball when it comes to removing it. But again, with the proper letters and with the proper documentation that you're sending out, those things come off just like that. Now, the second way, which in my opinion is going to be a more bulletproof strategy. Let's say, and look, I don't want you to abuse of this strategy, but it definitely has been working. One thing that you want to do is, let's say you still have this credit card opened with this company. You want to go ahead and let them know, send them a letter. Let's say you missed one payment, or let's say they're about to report it and you find out for whatever reason, you didn't pay it off or something happened, right? You just didn't report on the back end. You can send something called a goodwill letter. What a goodwill letter is, it's pretty much kind of like an apology letter where you let them know, hey, look, something came up in my life. You can go ahead and use the pandemic in this situation. Hint, hint. This is why I said don't abuse of it. When you let them know, hey, look, I was either had a job loss or I was in a bit of a transfer or I was moving, right? You want to make it personable in the way that you write and even in the way that you speak. The reason why I say in the way that you speak is because you want to reach out to them as well before sending this letter out and let them know your situation. Be very nice to them. You're speaking to humans, by the way. You're not speaking to a robot. You're speaking to a human. You're not on this automated line. You're actually going to speak to another representative, or really a representative. And this is going to be not with the bureau. This is going to be with the actual credit card company that you are still a customer of. Let them know, hey, look, build up your case. Hey, look, I've been a loyal customer for 5 years. I've only been late once, or I've only been late for these 90 days. It gets a little bit more difficult if you have back-to-back missing or back-to-back late payments, but it still is doable, especially if you're genuine. Once you get off the phone, let them know, hey, I want to follow up by sending you a letter as well. Make sure you get everything documented. You send that via certified mail to ensure that they received it on their end. More often than not, this strategy right here is working magic, and it's pretty much become bulletproof for removing those late payments off of your credit report. Now, worst case scenario, let's say that they attempt to verify that indeed you do have a late payment. You can then follow up with the lawsuit letter, which again, you're protected within the Fair Credit Reporting Act. You can find all of these letters that I just mentioned with the proper templates so that you can customize it to your situation over on the website. But you first want to try to be the nice person and kind of take the high ground, get on the phone with them and be genuine. So there you have it. If you found value in this content, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Join the official community. Don't forget that anytime we're not posting on here, we're posting over on the Insight with Irv show. So if you like what we have going on over here, You'll love what we have going on over there. And I want to thank all of our new members in our exclusive group, which you can find behind the scenes tools and resources by hitting the link down in the description. I look forward to seeing you over on that side. Once again, I appreciate you watching. Until next time, everyone, I will see you in the next video.